This is the Slow Wardrobe. Come and have a look.
Hello, welcome to episode 95 of the Slow Wardrobe podcast. My name is Linda and I'm your host. In this episode, I'll give you a shortish update, a little peek into the holiday that I've just had with my family in the south of France. Followed by a knitting update, the little knitting that I did do while I was away. And then in the Layercake section, we are focusing on holiday as well this episode by me talking you through a capsule wardrobe that you can either build out of Layercake pieces to have in your wardrobe that gives you endless variations, but also is very suitable for a holiday either near where you live or further afield. It allows you to travel with one small suitcase and have lots of different options for different outfits. So let's start with a quick update on my family holiday. It was the 8th of June, Thursday the 8th of June, when we set off in the evening to take the ferry from Portsmouth to Bilbao in the north of Spain. This was because we were traveling to Ayu, which is a very small village southwest, about an hour southwest of Toulouse, where we were staying in a converted mill that has been turned into a house come Airbnb, if you want to call it that way. There's a mill as well as a bakery that have both been converted into places where you can stay. I will put the details below here because it's a lovely place to stay. And on the website, you can read all about the accommodation. It is run by friends of my brothers, who have been my friends for a long time as well by now. We stayed with them 9 years ago when our boys were 12 years old and our daughter was 17. And this summer just now, our boys have finished their bachelor's degrees, and I really liked the idea of whisking them away shortly after their last exams for a week in France, back to the mill and revisiting that same spot where we had such a wonderful holiday 9 years ago. And that's exactly what we did. So the first photograph that I'm showing you here is of me on the ferry to Spain. This is on the first evening that we were on the ferry, and you can see that I actually walk my talk when it comes to Layercake garments, and I actually wear the things that I'm going to be recommending to you in the Layercake section as a holiday get-up. I'm wearing my play suit in the natural undyed linen, and I'm wearing that with a long duster that is from the first season that we ever did dusters. It is a relatively thin linen in an oatmeal color. It's not a linen that we have anymore. It was a limited edition then, and I grabbed one of them. It's still the duster that I have to date. It hardly looks worn, even though I wear it loads, and you'll see me wearing it in one of the other photographs I'm about to show you as well, because I really do use it as a throw over with pretty much any of the outfits that I'm wearing. But I digress. That was the ferry crossing, and the reason that we took the ferry rather than flying, for example, is that we wanted to take our new bicycles. We have bought electric bikes because we want to get back into cycling with a vengeance, but we want to be able to do that in lots of different environments and without having to elevate our fitness levels to athletic proportions, especially mine. And one of the reasons that I realized that I haven't enjoyed cycling in the UK that much, I always thought it was because I don't really feel that safe on the roads here, and with cars and the traffic not being geared towards bicycles as much as what I was used to in the Netherlands when I lived there. But I've come to realize that it's not that. It's the fact that whenever I am on a bike and I'm cycling with my husband, who does more cycling than I do and has a road bike and whatever, so his fitness levels are generally better than mine, I tend to cycle pretty much at the end of my tether. I'm pretty much going, full throttle all the time. And the result of that is that you just constantly feel tired legs, achy bum, all that kind of stuff. And then having to navigate traffic, get off your bike fast and whatever in order to stop or pull over becomes a bit of a chore when you're constantly at the end of your tether. And I realize that that's the reason that I don't feel safe. It is my lack of my own physical fitness that is getting the better of me. Now, of course, it's easy to say, well, just improve your physical fitness. And that's, of course, something that I intend to do. But in the meantime, I can take the edge off by having a little bit of a boost every now and then on the bike when we have steep hills, for example, or whatever else. And that means that I'm not constantly going full pelt. So we have just bought those bicycles. We haven't had them for very long yet at all. We had done a couple of rides around where we live here in Greyshot, and we were taking them with us to France to do some cycling, hopefully in the first week when we had everybody around. But most importantly, when the kids were going back after week 1, we were going to go down southeast further towards the foothills of the Pyrenees, and that's where we wanted to do some more cycling. It's exactly what we did. So that's why we took the ferry to Spain and then drove around to our final destination. It was about 4.5-hour drive from Bilbao, so that was not too bad, and it all came off really well. It was also pretty handy, of course, to have a car with us while we were there. So we drove there, and it turned out the kids arrived, so we arrived on Saturday morning and drove around for Saturday afternoon to EU. My brother and his wife were joining us, and of course the Alex and Go, the owners of the mill, they were joining us as well. So there was just the 6 of us for the Saturday evening, because the kids were joining us on Sunday. They were flying in on Sunday. So that meant that it was just an evening of the 6 oldies, if you like, because I can't call us the grown-ups anymore, because the kids have grown up as well. And it turned out that there was, for the first time ever in Aurignac, which is a town very close to EU, there was a house party, as in house music. So it was outside next to a beautiful ruin in the town. It was wonderful, and the 6 of us went there and had an absolute blast. I'll show you one photograph. It just has the 4 of us, has Peter, my husband, and myself, as well as Moan, my sister-in-law, and my brother taking the picture. And you can see the party goers in the background and the music stage in the background. We had such a nice evening. So on Sunday, the kids joined us, and of course we had a whole bunch of different outings as a family. I'll show you a quick snapshot here of the 3 Sibbies, as they call themselves, our daughter in the middle, and our sons, the new bachelor degree holders, on either side of her. At the top of the entrance, the stairs to an entrance of a castle that is owned by friends of the owner of the mill. And we went around to see that castle. It was beautiful, really, really gorgeous. And the Sibbies have a long-standing tradition of taking a Sibby pic, all with their thumbs up when they're having a good time. So that's the Sibby pic of the 3 siblings. And in the course of the week, one other very memorable event that we got into was an evening of Make Your Own. The evening started with a beautiful setting. I'll show you a quick picture of what the setting was. That's the entrance of the main building, the entrance of the mill, with in front of it a beautiful sofa and a standard lamp and a rug. And it was part of the setting for the Make Your Own Pizza Night. There's an outside pizza oven, one of those really big stone domes, home built. and we all made our own pizzas. And once that was all done and our bellies were full, we went inside for a make your own music evening. In other words, karaoke. So I'll show you a picture first of my 4 boys. There's a 4th one because, of course, Pika has her wonderful boyfriend, Wes, who is in the picture with my 3 other boys, i.e. our 2 sons, as well as hubby Peter, and that's the 4 of them singing a karaoke song. I'll show you one more cheeky karaoke picture, which has me featuring that duster again. That's me there singing Shirley Bassey's Diamonds Are Forever, wearing my blood orange play suit and that same oatmeal coloured long duster again. We had a wonderful, wonderful time. So wonderful first week, and at the end of that week, the kids flew home again. We had literally flying them in, and then our daughter rented a car at Toulouse airport, and that's how all 4 of them came to us for the week. So they had their own car as well, which was great. So they all flew back at the end of the week, and we packed up our car and travelled about an hour southeast of AU to a tiny little hamlet in the middle of nowhere in the foothills of the Pyrenees, where I found a pretty new Airbnb listed, and it was absolutely phenomenal. This was 2 old dilapidated shacks or barns that this guy, Mady, he's called, had bought 13 years ago, and he's spent the best part of 13 years very slowly and gradually building up these 2 barns and then connecting them with a house in the middle. The whole thing in total is a beautiful large dwelling now with a wonderful like terrace, balcony terrace around the whole back of the house, that overlooking the valley, and to the side, which is covered with a covered hot tub. And I'll show you now what the main view is just looking out from the balcony. This was taken one evening where we had some beautiful glowing light shooting through the valley that this house is built to the side of. Wonderful lighting, wonderful view. We had a wonderful week there, and we had our opportunity to take a couple of bike rides. We did one shorter bike ride of about hour and a half, and then 2 long bike rides that were about 50 kilometers each. The first one, we actually climbed the total of 1 kilometer in height. It's the kind of ride that we never would have been able to do on normal bikes. Unless we would have worked for months and months on our fitness first. But with these electric bikes, you just turn on the motor and that just takes the edge off when you're climbing steep hill. Wonderful. We had a great time, and I'll show you a couple of pictures here that we took, a couple of snaps that we took. They're not quite as clear as the ones taken on the iPhone, because these were taken on one of those old Kodak Instamatic cameras where you get the photograph shooting out straight after you've taken it. We've got one of those cameras, and we really enjoy the kind of retro feel that you get in the shots, as you can see. And there's a bit of a retro feel, I think, in my outfit as well. Of course, you won't see me in tight lycra. I would feel far too much sausage-like and far too self-conscious. But I love the idea of creating a bit of a retro look and retro feel with the outfit that I'm wearing. So that's what you see me wear, together with my brand new cycle helmet, which I can also really recommend if you're in the market for a cycle helmet. I'll put the brand down here. It's really well ventilated. They look super cool. I think they're made out of glass fiber or fiberglass, however you call it. So they're really light as well. And they just don't get very hot when you're cycling at all. They're wonderful. And I've never felt comfortable wearing the kind of traditional cycle helmets that you see everybody wear, especially here in the UK. I feel just as stupid with one of those on my head as I do wearing Lycra, but this helmet is just the bomb. I love it. And I even, you know, would forget to take, I would take off my sunglasses to stop and walk into a shop to buy something, but I would just forget to take the helmet off. They're so comfortable and you just feel good wearing them. So I cannot recommend the helmets strongly enough. So lots of lovely hours spent on the balcony and in the hot tub, especially on the evenings after the long cycle rides. And then we drove back last Saturday, back from where we were staying, 4.5 hours or so back to Bilbao in Spain, and took the ferry back again to Portsmouth, arriving late Sunday afternoon. So perfect, and really, really happy to be back again at the same time. I think it had been not since the pandemic that we had actually been away for more than a week at a time, and it felt positively strange to me. By Tuesday of the second week, I felt a little bit unnerved, thinking, oh my gosh, this holiday is taking really long. And I started to feel guilty about being more than a week away from the business and whatever. So I really needed to change gears and just calm down and go with the flow. And we actually spent one day of doing very, very little, just literally lounging about, and finally did a little bit of knitting because my knitting antics had been virtually non-existent while we were away. So the main knitting that I did was on the ferry there and back. So this is where I will stop my ranting about my lovely family holiday. I hope you enjoyed a little insight in what we did and how I spent my last 2 weeks. And now I'll make a proper break for those of you who have skipped the first section. And here we go to my knitting update. So yes, knitting update. It's hanging right next to me. As you may remember from the last episode, I'm working with a linen and cotton and lyocell blend by Essayer called Trio 2. It is the Trio 2 is because it's a slightly marbled yarn, two different colors blue, or the other one, of course, is the red color that I have. Two different colors of red that have been blended together to create a slightly marbled look and feel, a little bit of depth to the color. And I like that idea, of course, with all the cross weave linens that I do. I like the idea of having a little bit of life in the yarn as well. It's 50% linen, 30% cotton, 20% lyocell, and I chose this yarn because I was keen to find out whether a cotton blend ends up feeling different and feeling easier on the hands to knit with than linen. Like I already said, it makes not one hoot of a difference to me. In fact, I think the bottom line for me is I like linen better. This is a 350 meters per 100 grams yarn in little balls of 50 grams. And to me, that already feels a little bit heavy, exactly as I remember it to be. And that's why my linen is 600 meters per 100 grams and finer and thinner and less heavy as a finished garment. Having said that, I am hoping to knit a garment that I'll actually wear. I'll show you a photograph here of what it's supposed to look like, and the design is by Anke Strik. I've forgotten the name, but I'll put it down here. And it's meant to become a sleeveless top, like this is already sleeveless. I'm knitting in the round. I've increased a little bit, and I'm supposed to knit for another 8 or so inches. Like you see in the photograph, it's supposed to be quite a long, flowy top with some pockets in. It wouldn't be me if I didn't have something to add to that, and it's not because I don't like the original design, but because I know myself and what I need to do to create something that I'll actually wear. So the idea that I've come up with is that I really like the construction, the unusual construction here, and how that makes the stripes go at 90 degrees of each other. So pretty much at the length where I am now, I'm going to change, and rather than keeping going in this stripe, I'm going to create a very long ribbed section that is going to be loose and flowy, so it's not going to pull the top in. The top is going to keep its A-line shape, but the ribbed section will have its knit stitches in the red and then the purl stitches in between in the blue. So it's going to be along the lines of 3 stitches in red and then 2 in blue, or something like that. So 3 knit stitches, 2 purl stitches, that kind of rib. So as a result, I'll have lines going in this direction for that whole section. I like the idea of creating that break just about at waist level, just like I've got the break here at the shoulder. Then I'm going to probably add sleeves as well. I'm going to see how I feel about the whole top once that section is finished. Those sleeves may not be that long. As you can see, they kind of go down the shoulder a little bit. So I may just add a relatively short section of sleeve here to end up with something that is like elbow length. I like the idea of then being able to wear contrasting tops underneath, for example, but to have it completely sleeveless, probably not. Also because I want to be able to wear it on its own, and with the size of the armhole that I've given it, it ends up being quite a wide armhole. So probably sleeves and a relatively short one. And then finally there is the option to add an hood at the top, and I quite like that idea as well. Of course, the back doesn't have any hood at the moment. You can see that it's really nice and flowy already in the back, and now I'm going to have that contrasting change of direction with the rib. The other thing that you can see is that the way it ends up sitting, the front ends up being slightly shorter than the back. And that's just the way it comes out. I'm not sure it's supposed to, but it comes out like that on me, and I like it. So I'm going to stick with that. I'm not going to change that at all. So the finished article will have a slightly longer back as well. And I also haven't quite decided yet on whether I'm going to put any splits in. Probably not, because of that A-line, and I don't want those that ribbed section to roll in. So I'm probably just going to go around without any splits. So that's where I'm at. In 2 weeks from now, hopefully I'll be able to show you the effect of having that turned long ribbed edge here at the bottom, and who knows how much further I'll be. I'll do my best. It'll definitely be more progress than you've seen since the last time I showed you this, because like I said, it was mainly on the ferry to Spain and back that I did my knitting. Not much knitting at all while we were in France. I was far too busy doing other things, as hopefully you'll understand. So that's pretty much it. That was all my knitting. Too early to tell you about knitting down the pike. I haven't got anything to show you there yet. And we'll dive straight into Layercake now. Not specifically a new garment or a pre-order, but showing 7 layer cakes in total that make up a complete capsule collection for you to take on holiday, either near or far. I hope you enjoy. Taking your layer cake on a trip. Of course, inspired by my own recent holiday, I thought I'd revisit my packing theory or travel theory when I go on a trip, which actually stems from much longer ago, way beyond or way before I started to produce layer cake garments. But because layer cakes are so easy to combine, both with other garments in your wardrobe as well as with each other, they form the perfect basis for a holiday or travel wardrobe. And like I did about a year ago, probably last summer, I'm revisiting the theory that 7 pieces of Layercake, 7 garments in total, are enough to form the basis of your holiday or trip wardrobe. You can make so many different outfits with them. And if you go for longer than a week and you think, well, for more than a week with these 7 garments, I would have to start washing things. In most cases, when you go on a trip for more than a week, you will have the opportunity to either have things washed or take them to a laundrette or wash them yourselves, given the amenities that you have at your destination. So that means that even for trips that are multiple weeks, you still don't have to increase that number of 7 layer cakes. What you can consider is taking 1 or 2 vests, or maybe 1 or 2 short sleeve fitted tops that I currently don't offer in the Layercake lineup yet, but there are things in the works. For now though, these 7 garments form the perfect basis, apart from underwear and some tiny little tops as underpinnings, or bralettes, for example, which is what I tend to wear. Then that plus your underwear, you're done. And the swimming costume, of course. So these 7 garments include the garments that you'll be traveling in. And I'm currently wearing 2 of them. And if I would add 1 of the tops, I'd be wearing 3 of them, in which case you only have to pack 4. So with this kind of system, you never have to travel with more than a little carry-on case, which keeps your travel luggage really light and easy to stow and easy to take with you. What I'm wearing is a regular length play suit and a long duster. A long duster to me is one of the ultimate staples of my holiday wardrobe. I throw it on wherever I go and whatever I do, because it means some easy coverage when I visit a church, for example. I want to have my shoulders covered, or I want to hide from the sun when it's very warm, or it cools down at night and I actually want to look a little bit more sophisticated or just covered up because I'm going to go to a restaurant or whatever. And a duster, of course, ticks all those boxes, especially one of the longer ones. They are so swaggery and so chic, and that of course goes for the long one that I'm wearing. But the medium length, of course, is a wonderful alternative. It'll still be long enough to close up and wear as a coverall when you're coming out of the pool or out of the sea, because of course chlorinated water or seawater is no problem for your linen. It won't damage it. Just give it a soak afterwards or a quick rinse and you're good to go. So chartreuse is one of the ones that I have left here still after our very recent pre-order of the gosh, my words this morning, it's early. A pre-order of the dusters. I've got this long chartreuse one left, and of course it goes beautifully with the regular length size 2 rivulet play suit that I'm wearing. So I still fit into the size 1 play suits, and that's what I've been wearing, my own size 1 play suits. But I can easily size up to a size 2, and that looks great as well. And as you can see, the regular length is slightly cropped on me. And if I don't want to show my ankles, then of course I'll wear a longer length. And hence you have the 3 options of the 3 different lengths, and double check which one will suit your preferences and your height best. So those are the first 2. I'm going to show you that, of course, it doesn't have to be colorful. You can go a lot more neutral. So let me first swap this colorful set for a more neutral set. Again, play suit and duster. Here is a black gingham play suit, again a size 2 in the long length this time. So like I said, if you prefer not to bare your ankles, then wear one of the longer ones, whether that is the regular or the long length for you. Of course, depends on your height. And then I'm wearing it with a charcoal, in this case, again, long duster. Like I said, much more neutral colors, but the same rule applies. Wonderful for travel days. It's so handy to have something that covers you up like this, but then when it gets really warm, you can just quickly take it off. You can unzip, of course, the bottom of your play suit when you're getting really warm. This is when you're walking around as well. You think, oh my God, I'm melting. Open up the bottom of your play suit, and just the wafting of the fabric open turns it into more of a summer dress, and you'll be less warm. The insulating qualities of the closed zip are much bigger than you might realize. So charcoal, pockets, no pockets of course in the duster. We don't want to break these nice long flowy lines. So if you want access to your pockets, open your duster back up. But having it closed, whether you're wearing it as a cover up or whatever reason, you don't have your pockets there. So open, access to pockets. I can drop my phone in a pocket, my passport, going through security if you're flying, for example, and very easy to see what you have on you, obviously. Neutral colors, darker colors, and I'll show you in a picture here what I was traveling with on the ferry to Spain a couple of weeks ago. I'm wearing my play suit in the undyed linen, and then I've got an oatmeal-y color to the duster, which is a duster that I've had for a couple of years now, since we first started doing them. That's my long duster, and I think it's really nice to have that really light color combination. But of course you can go contrast, you can go neutral like this, you can go bright, or I'll show you one other combination. I'll keep this one on. I just spotted that I've got a magenta long duster as well, and that of course is also a lovely contrast with the play suit that I'm wearing. So let me quickly show you that. And here's the magenta long duster over that black gingham play suit. Again, another lovely combination, very easy, striking of course, and just as easy to combine with all the other garments. So I've only shown 2 garments, and the reason that I showed the different play suit and the different dusters is because I wanted to quickly show you which colors of the long dusters with the ties I have in stock at the moment. It's literally those 3. I've only made a couple of extra after the production run that we did, and I think I have a couple of short ones, maybe long one, medium one, a couple in the bright check. So if you think, oh, actually, I fancy a duster for my holiday, try and order one of the ones that are in stock, because we're in the middle of producing that big run of love dresses that have just been on pre-order. So if you order something right now that's not in stock, it's going to be at least 4 weeks before you'll get your garment. So keep that in mind. We're talking pretty much the month of July. Anything you order now that is not in stock will probably get to you towards the end of July, definitely the second half. So if you have any particular requests in terms of timing for an order for your summer holidays, please shoot me a message before you place your order so I can let you know exactly what the options are and what we can do for you, whether we can swap some things around and still accommodate a nearer holiday date. But of course our options are limited there, so do check with me before you place your order if you can, please. Meanwhile, I'm going to go on to the next garment, because like I said, only 2 garments so far, the dusters, and I wanted to show you the difference of the medium and the long length of the play suits on me, so that you can play with that idea in your own head, whether you want your garment cropped or not. That of course also goes for things like dress lengths, but I'll cover that in a minute. I'm going to go on to the next two garments. Change these two completely into two completely different ones. Here we go. Complete change of outfit, silhouette and colors. These are a pair of the jersey cotton baggies. Nice and stretchy, super soft, especially if your skin has been exposed to the sun and it's getting a little bit sensitive because you didn't put enough sun cream on. Then wearing a pair of these is lovely and soft against the skin. They're great for lounging, of course, wherever you are. And I'm wearing the grey ones in the long large, and I'm combining them with one of our love tunics in that broad blue stripe. The blue stripe is a combination of blue and undyed linen, which is so close to the greyish, really it is, colour of the lighter coloured baggies. So lovely outfit, great for just, you know, walking into town, strolling around, exploring new places, or just walking into town wherever you live, of course. Because this top is linen, it's nice and roomy, it's nice and airy, and it won't constrict your movement in any way. So it's lovely to wear when it's warmer out. And of course, when it is cooler, you could just throw something else over the top or underneath. For example, a second love top rather than love tunic. I'll show you. So I've thrown on a raspberry cotton love top. I think it's a size 2. And I'm wearing that now underneath my size 1 love tunic. Just folding over the cuff so I have that color peeping out. But here it is underneath, worn with my cotton baggies. And of course, without the love tunic, this in itself is a wonderful lounge set to wear. Just the cotton baggies with the cotton love top. Great to lounge around in before or after a busy day. Throw this over the top if you're in an environment that is not particularly warm. And when we're talking about layering, of course you can wear these cotton baggies underneath your play suit if it's colder where you are, or you can add garment number 5, which is garment number 6, because I'm wearing 3 and I've already shown you a play suit and a duster. Garment number 6 is a pair of linen baggies, which of course are great to wear by themselves, but can also be layered over the top of your cotton ones if you are in a place that's not particularly warm. Let me add them. A pair of long large cotton baggies in magenta. These are actually my own baggies. I'm wearing them today at the studio, and whenever I've got a layer cake on in a day that I'm filming that I can use in the recording, like I did recently with the chartreuse love dress, then I will show it, because these baggies are at least 6 months old. They're one of my favorites, so I'm wearing them loads. They've been washed loads, and you can see what the patina is and what the kind of look and feel is of the linen as it ages. I love it so much more when it's a little bit older, a little bit more crumpled. It doesn't really fold and crease the way that cheap linens do, but it has this kind of parchmenty, puckered kind of look that it acquires over time. That is my absolute favorite. I adore it. And I can achieve that because the linen is tightly woven. So I'm wearing 4 of my garments together now. The love top in the cotton, the love tunic in the linen, the baggies in the cotton. Here they are underneath my cotton ones, my linen ones, and my linen baggies. This is also a nice tip. If you're going to fly and you tend to get chilly on a plane, then again, wear your cotton baggies and your linen baggies over the top of each other. The cotton is, of course, lovely and soft against your skin, but that extra layer will really keep you cozy. It's like having your own little cocoon around your legs. It's lovely and warm, and having the stretchy top on the plane, of course, gives you a bit more room for movement as well. So 6 of the garments shown together with the play suit and the duster, 1 to go. And of course it has to be a tulip dress for summer weather or a summery environment, or even when it's not summery and you can wear it in combination with the 3 sleeved garments that you have. Because of course with the love top and the love tunic, you've got 2 garments with sleeves already. And then the third one is your duster that you can combine with your tulip dress. Let me put a tulip dress on. Tulip dress in one of our new colors this spring called Spring Greens. And just wearing it myself for days when it's very warm and you really don't want a lot of coverage and just a lot of airiness. But of course I can start layering it in multiple ways. I've got one literally up my sleeve, or should I say up my skirt, because hidden underneath here are my cotton baggies, which I kept on and then just hid. How old am I? Goodness me. About 5, I think, if I can get away with it. Anyway, my cotton baggies in that same neutral grey colour, which of course is a wonderful colour to just blend in with the rest of your outfit. The dress is still doing all the talking, but meanwhile, my legs are covered, either because I want to keep them warm or because I don't want to show them off for whatever reason. And this is the regular length dress. Now, of course, another way I can choose to cover more of my legs is to lengthen the dress. This is the regular length, but I could wear a long dress instead. Let me show you the difference in length. Here is the long length tulip dress in a size 2 in our gorgeous bright cerulean. Been a very popular color this summer. I think we're nearly sold out of it. I need to double check, and once I've had a chance to do that, I'll update the website to let you know. I know for a fact that we're running very, very low on the large bright check fabric, only enough fabric left for a couple of garments. And I think some of the summer colors are getting to that stage as well. But I need to double check that and report back. I'll probably do that in my next newsletter, actually. Next week, Friday, which is going to be the 7th. Yes, the 7th of July. The next newsletter goes out. So if you want accurate figures on the stock levels of some of the summer colors, then look out for that newsletter. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will put the numbers in there if I can. So, long dress, nearly ankle length on me. As you can see, I'm 5'10". So if you are of the persuasion that you love wearing dresses, but you don't want to show off your legs, then depending on what height you are, choose a longer dress length than what you normally do. And you'll see that you get ample coverage from that. If you are between lengths, then we can accommodate that as well. We could do a long length dress with an inch or 2 taken off, for example. We will charge our bespoke fee for that, our bespoke garment fee. And the main other thing to remember is that with a bespoke garment, of course, you cannot return it because it was made outside of the standard specification, so I can't take it back. I hope you understand that. So make sure that you know what you're ordering and that you're sure of what you're ordering when you're ordering bespoke. But it's a very popular service. Lots of people use it because they know that if the garment is perfect and is a perfect fit, they'll just get that much more wear out of it, and that's really worth it with our linen because it lasts forever. Anyway, enough of the soapbox speech. Long length dress, that was garment number 7, and of course I'm wearing it here with the cotton baggies. I could wear it instead with the linen baggies, or I can wear it in combination with the tops, with the duster, for example, like I did with the play suit. I could even wear play suit and a tulip dress together if I want to layer that way. And tops can be worn over the top or underneath. Remember that. I can wear it underneath to get it to really keep the shift dress idea going. But I'll quickly also show you the love tunic over the top of a linen dress. Just showing you how well cerulean and the white blue stripe of the love tunic go together. We do this bright or this white blue stripe in the shirt as well as the love top. And as you can see, the brightness is slightly subdued by the fact that it's cross-woven with the natural linen, but it's a lovely combination with the cerulean. And of course, the cerulean really boosts the blue in the love tunic. So, love tunic can of course also be worn with the baggies, either the cotton ones like I've already shown, or the linen ones. I hope you realize that the combination with these 7 garments is endless. I'll line them up, so just to remind you of what the entire selection consists of. We started with a play suit and a long, or you could go for medium length, duster. Of course you can wear a short duster as well, that's no problem. It's just that the short duster is a little bit less easy to use as a cover-up after pool or sea. But as an addition to your holiday wardrobe, of course it's perfect. So any length of duster and a play suit are number 1 and 2. Then I have baggies in one in the cotton and one in the linen. One of the reasons that I go for 2 pairs of baggies and not, for example, a pair of baggies and a pair of high-lows or palazzos is that the baggies can be worn on top of each other. If you know that you don't need that, then of course those linen trousers don't have to be baggies. They could just as well be high-lows, which are great for summer because you can tie them up and make them shorter, or palazzos if you like that more statuesque kind of silhouette. So 2 pairs of trousers, a dress, and 2 tops, a love top and a love tunic preferably, or a love top and a shirt, for example, a love tunic and a shirt, but 2 different tops that have sleeves. Your duster, of course, has got sleeves. Then 2 pairs of trousers of any type, a play suit and a dress. And that's your 7 garments. And with those, you can keep combining for weeks. And people will be amazed at the number of different outfits you can put together. You can make them either more colorful or more neutral, like I showed you. And I hope that this has inspired you to put your own holiday wardrobe together, either all made up out of Layercake or a couple of Layercakes together with sprinkled across the garments that you have that are your favorites to take on holiday. If you are going to go on holiday, have a great time. If you are staying around, I hope you have a lovely summer. I'll be back in 2 weeks with the next pre-order if things go according to plan. And for now, thank you very much for staying with me and hopefully enjoying this. And I'll see you again soon.